again. Sometimes, I find it difficult to think of new ideas photographically and things that I can show you and talk about and sometimes even demonstrate. Well, this week I think I've hit on something that might be of interest. As you know, in the past I have reviewed items for the lovely people at K&F Concept, and when I was scanning through their catalogue online the other week, I spotted a couple of things which took my eye because I've been wanting to experiment with the Olympus feature of Lifetime. They do live composite as well, but really from a personal point of view, I find the Lifetime facility the most appealing and the most interesting for me with my style of photography. But I thought, well, hold on a minute, how can I make use of that in a different way? And I was taken by a couple of little LED video lights on the K&F Concept website, and they are these. Hopefully it might even focus on it if I hold it in front of my ugly mug. Okay, these are the K&F Concept RGB video lights. Now, I was really cheeky. I contacted them and I said, look, I've got this idea. Would you like me to review your video lights? If so, pretty please, can I have two? And in actual fact, I've got them illuminating the background here. One's showing green and the other one is showing blue, just for some effect. So that's what this video is going to be about. Now, the first part is going to be me showing you these little beauties in close-up, telling you how you can use them, and then hopefully, fingers crossed here, hopefully my idea of some creative close-up photography, not macro, but close-up photography, will give you a little bit of impetus to perhaps try it yourself. Not necessarily by using these, but there's all sorts of lighting methods that you can use in combination with the Olympus Lifetime feature. And it doesn't have to be an Olympus camera, you don't have to have Lifetime. I find it incredibly useful when I'm doing this kind of thing, which is not very often, I have to be honest. But you can get away by using good old traditional bulb setting on your mirrorless or DSLRs and building up the exposure over time. The advantage with the Olympus Lifetime is that you see the image building up in front of you. And then when you get to a certain point, you can stop the exposure. So let's move to the table and I'll give you a close-up demonstration of what these little LED lights are like and the facilities which they offer. Okay, here we are. K&F Concept RGB video light. They are available in 3 different colours. I happen to have been sent 2 in the black. You can also get them in blue and white. The only other thing on the side of the packaging is the description. They give 360-degree colour light variation. In other words, a sort of rainbow effect. The degrees Kelvin, they go from 2500K up to 9900K. So that goes from warm right through to cool blue. And the CRI index is above 96. That's the colour reproduction, and that is a way of measuring the purity of the colours that you're getting out of the light itself. I've got the GoPro recording as well, so hopefully that's going to pick up some of the details for you. Inside the packaging you do have an instruction leaflet, which is in many different languages, as is typical these days. But a word of advice, it is a good idea to use these. There are only 3 controls on the light, but it does make sense to actually use them. To refer to the instruction booklet. We have a small warning notice there. You'll need your reading glasses on to read that, folks. And then just a little bit of additional blurb from K&F telling you about the fact that they make an awful lot of photographic accessories. We'll take the unit out, and then the only other thing that you have in here is the USB lead, which is hidden down here. I won't bother taking that out. Everybody knows what a USB-C lead looks like. Let's put the packaging to one side. So here we are. A very compact little unit and really nice and solid feeling in the hand. The front section is 99% translucent screen material. On one side you have a 1/4 inch tripod bush, so you can mount it onto a lighting stand or a tripod. You've got two of those, one on either side, and you can, if you want to, I think these are designed so you can put a lanyard through them. That might not be the actual intent of the manufacturer, but you could certainly put a wrist strap lanyard through here or some sort of strap if you wanted to keep them safe. And then the only other control you've got on the side are these two knobs here. On the back you have your USB-C charging port, and the orange button is to change various settings once you've got the unit turned on. Now I'm going to keep it probably turned away from you for most of the sort of demonstration, because it really is very bright. Hopefully you can get an idea on this now. So at the moment, I'm not sure which camera is going to pick it up best, the GoPro or the Osmo Pocket 3. But you have a display up here, and at the moment it is telling me we're on 40% continuous light. And you have a battery indicator beneath that. I'll try and put some close-up stills so you get a better idea. So it's showing CCT, full battery indicator beneath that, a brightness indicator, the sun, and then the percentage. At the moment it's only on 40% brightness. Now I'm doing this upside down, so I can't remember which one is going to do which, but the button I'm turning now will increase or decrease the brightness, going up from 100 down to 1%. So let's leave it on about 40%, so it's not dazzling everybody. Then the other dial down here, we can change that, and it brings in various other features. Let's just go back. So we're on continuous lighting at the moment, and if I press the orange button, the display will change, and it is now showing me the degrees Kelvin, and we are on 5.5, so more or less sort of average daylight, I guess you would say. And then now that we change the dial here, oops, sorry, wrong way, we can adjust the color temperature. So let's crank it right up to the 9.9. So we've got that bluish tint. Not sure how well the video will pick that up. And if we dial it back the other way, you should notice that it goes progressively more yellow. So that's that mode. Let's put it back to round about 5.5. There we go. Press it again, and we're back to the CCT. Now, if we go to the other dial and change over, so this, you've got the HSI, hue and saturation, and the same thing applies. We've got the brightness still showing, and at the moment it's on 55, so we can change that. We can either make it brighter or dimmer, depending on what we want to do. And we can then use this dial here and change it again for different effects. You can see here we have, this is telling me it's supposed to be replicating candlelight. And now if we go through here, We have flames 1, flames 2. We have police, blue flashing lights, ambulance. What's that one called? Fire truck. Okay. Over here in the UK it would be fire engine. And various strobe and studio effects, different speeds, you name it. And then we've got the chase facility where it automatically cycles through various colours. Okay, at different speeds. The whole thing about these, and these are not expensive light units, these are about £30. I'll put the exact price up as of the day of filming on screen for you now, but they're not expensive, and yet they do feel really well made. One thing I would point out, and at the moment it isn't getting there, but they do get warm. There's no built-in fan cooling, otherwise you'd have heard it by now. So be aware of the fact that they get warm, but not to the point where you can't sort of touch them. I think they're really fantastic little things. I really do. I really don't know how long a charge would last. What I can tell you is that when these arrived, they were both sort of 75–80% fully charged. I've only topped up this one to make sure I've got enough power in it for the experiment and the ideas that I've got, which I'm going to be filming this evening when it's dark, because I do need my studio, my makeshift studio here, to be in darkness. So if you can stand the suspense, stay with me and I'll speak to you later when we've got things set up. Okay, well, welcome to my little improvised close-up indoor studio. I'll just explain what's going on here because it probably looks completely messy. Well, it is messy and it's very amateurish, but I just want to try and prove something to anybody who wants to have a go at this kind of photography, that it doesn't have to be expensive gear. I've actually invested in £10 worth of accessories to do this shoot. Starting off with this, which is actually from IKEA, the furniture people. It's actually a protective glass cover for one of their drawer units. Now, I've had this for years. It normally lives on top of this dining room table, and it's translucent. It has a matte translucent paint finish underneath, and the top is nice and shiny. And I've thought for quite some time this would be ideal to be illuminated from underneath, and that's what I've done. This is why I've got 2 of these units from K&F Concept. At the moment I've got one underneath the glass plate down here, pointing upwards. It's on its lowest setting, 5600 Kelvin, and it's pointing directly up through this piece of scrap black cotton material, and it's shining and illuminating this glass globe, which I purchased from one of our fantastic Chinese companies, and it's part of this £10 worth of gear that I purchased a while ago. Okay, at the moment the room is being illuminated by one of my LED panel lights just out of shot to the right, so you can ignore that. And at the moment we have the camera set. You might be able to see down here bottom left it does say live time. It's on manual exposure, and we have the aperture set to f13. You can see my reflection, I think, in the glass globe there. Right, and I'm going to turn off the panel light. So the only illumination is coming from the single LED light underneath the glass panel. And because we have the camera set to live time, manual exposure f13, I'm going to trip the shutter, turn on the panel light, and just move it around very quickly. and you'll see the image begin to build up on the back of the camera there. And you can do this to your heart's content until you are happy with the final result. And all I'm doing is wafting this light around, really, from about 5-6 feet away from the ball. Obviously, most of these, well, in fact, I guess really all of this type of photography, you're going to need to do some contrast adjustment in editing, things like that. I mean, I basically want the background to be completely black, but I think that's not a bad starter. So we're going to rearrange this. I shall take the glass ball off, which will make the cotton sheet fall away. We'll take that support away. Another little gizmo that I bought from China. Just let me stick that, I think, somewhere there. That's there. And you can see that it's counting up. Maximum of 24 frames as I play around with the lighting. And I'm going to attach the last accessory which I got from China. And it is a prism filter, but it's a prism filter with a flat center circle. I'll show you an image of it afterwards because I don't want to disturb either the Pocket 3 or the EM1. Okay, you sort of get the effect now, but the whole thing is too far away. I want to bring the whole thing closer to the camera as long as I can maintain focus. So, final attempt tonight, I think. Oh, we've lost our little ribbon thing. Can't be doing with that. I think we'll try that. Apologies if it's useless, but we'll give it a go. Okay, panel light off. Trip the shutter. What would you call these? Molecules. Time and space. That'll do. Now I'm going to take the light from underneath and bring it out and actually switch it off, I think. Okay. I'll do another one now. This is lit purely from the front. There we go. So before I put the gear away, just let me swivel the camera around and then you can see the filter that I've been using. So it's conical. I'll show it you from the side. You can see it projects beyond the filter thread, but the center section is ground completely flat. You know, £10 for the glass globe, the filter here, £10 for that lot. Can't complain. Well, there we are. I hope you enjoyed at least some of that and some of the images that I've been tinkering around with. Since producing the video, I've actually taken the filter, mounted it on the same lens, the 12-40, and taken some shots outdoors, which I might tag on to the end of this video now. It's just something, it's an idea, and it's something perhaps, obviously, for the winter months when it's inclement weather. You don't want to be going out getting soaking wet and freezing cold. This kind of experiment is a good way to keep your hand in and try something different. You don't have to use video lights like this. You can get away by using candle light, flashlights, all sorts of things really. And it's fun to have a go at something a little bit different. Now, for anybody who is interested, I have decided, because these have cost me nothing and because the lovely people at K&F Concept have not requested them returning, I am going to offer at least one of these LED lights to somebody who contacts me by email. You can find my email address on the channel information section. Drop me an email. What I'm looking for is somebody who can give me a good reason why I should let them have one of these. It's going to have to be UK only, sadly. I can't stretch to sending these halfway around the world, unfortunately. But if you're UK based and you've got an idea in mind, doesn't have to be photography. I'm going to open it out and say, look, maybe you've got a child, teenager, somebody who's maybe doing a disco. You could use these as disco lights, possibly. I don't know. But if you've got a hankering for one of these, I'm very happy to send at least one of them out. Just give me a meaningful email and I'll make sure it gets posted out to you completely free of charge. I think it's the fairest thing to do. So for now, from an experimental Liverpool, I'm going to say enjoy your photography, no matter what you get up to, and I will see you all next week. Bye for now.